Today's episode is brought to you by Bravenly Hydrate, because regular water is just not going to cut it. And the main brand sports drinks got stuff you don't need to consume. So I recommend hitting the link in the bio and checking out Bravenly Hydrate. Lemon lime is my favorite flavor, but I recommend checking out more of Bravenly products. It's really great stuff for your health and well-being. So hit the link in the bio to find out more about Bravenly products. Welcome to Men Are Forged Podcast. This is the podcast for men in their 20s and 30s who want to become great men. Today I have an important announcement that I have a new co-host, Bo Morgan, and I'm excited about bringing Bo in for us to discuss topics and address challenges that equip men to lead humbly and live courageously. So I hope we can encourage you to be more reflective and bold in everything you do and build towards a foundation of faith and leadership. Now for today's episode. A little special episode. I want to give a little behind the scenes, maybe the background on me and Bo's relationship.
We don't wear this every day. We just recorded another one. We normally change clothes.
Yeah. What are you talking about? This is my superhero outfit. The Sweet Henley V-neck, bro. See, this is what the problem. Yeah,
this is the stylish hoodie. This is the thing now, right?
Oh, 100%.
I got this for Christmas.
What's the brand?
Peter Millar.
Dude.
Yeah,
they're our next sponsor.
Yeah.
So Peter Millar, they used to be like the high end, poshy,
right?
To use a English term, golf attire. But now it seems like they're trying to get in the little like Gen Z hoodie stuff.
They're trying to get it. And my father-in-law worked there. He worked there like doing retail because he's retired and just wanted to. He's really good about like you go in his closet. He's got great.
Yeah. Oh, I got a lot of Peter Millar Christmas golf shirts. 100%.
Oh, yeah. They're the best. Yeah. And anyway, he gets a big discount. So this year at Christmas, I got it was nice. So anyway.
Well,
is that our first ad read?
Maybe. Send us some merch.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I need a hoodie. But anyway, yeah. So the setup, really giving a little background. No. A setup of part of, Bo, you came around when I was starting Men Are Forged and kind of this brand or this idea that I had of like really the forging of men at this age, in their 20s and 30s is really, it's the very formative if we allow it. And I think that's what I was kind of, as I was growing, trying to understand this podcast and build this brand, you came along, but found me. I was doing some kind of mentoring, one-on-one coaching, but never, I guess, to the intensity that you were looking for. Yeah. And it was really good. And anyway, so let me kind of just kick us off with, we're going to kind of go back and forth with this. This was it early 21 or the end of 2020?
I think it was the end of 2020.
Yeah, it was down the hall in the other office I had, and you've kind of followed me at all the different organizations. But yeah, when we first started working together, going through my coaching program, where were you in your life, and when we first started, what was happening?
Well, and also too, so to kind of set the stage a little bit, Cartwright asked me to host this podcast with him, and really kind of to my surprise, I was like, really? After all the stuff we've talked about? But no, it's really cool. And I will shamelessly plug it's coaching, right? Yeah. Coaching. And coaching's really, really kind of a broad and probably kind of has a bad stomach to it.
I didn't love the name. It didn't love it at first, especially life coaching, because a life coach is a very stigma.
It's not really.
Called it mentoring, life consulting.
Yeah, because guys want to be like, well, what am I getting? What am I getting out of this?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so the purpose of this is kind of to explain that, and then also we're going to be doing a lot of podcast episodes together, and you're probably wondering, well, how these guys know each other? What's their story? Mm-hmm. Why? One guy seems to really know a lot. The other guy doesn't really. No. But it is true, and that's good. That's the way we want it. What was your question?
Well, do we want to start what we found out very quickly, our similarities, which was kind of I thought was really, which is, I think, if anybody's trying to build a counseling coaching rapport, like, it's nice to have kind of these little bit of commonalities. Well, we found out in that first meeting we were both in the same fraternity
Yeah.
at Auburn,
Had no idea before we met.
different times.
Yeah. Cartwright's a lot older than me.
We both had some brief career in football coaching,
Yeah,
which was wild.
that's right.
What was another one that we had? Probably the poor taste and sense of humor.
Deeply flawed.
Deeply flawed. And aware of it. But anyway, that was an interesting commonality that we both. I was like, wow, that's kind of wild.
That is wild.
It felt like very God orchestrated for sure.
Yeah.
But my question was, where were you specifically that led you to me and wanting somebody to basically?
I kind of. So one thing I don't like to talk about strengths very often, but somebody has told me that I'm good at asking for help.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, because that's kind of a hard thing for men to do.
100%. Yeah.
I think I tried it like early in my mid to early 20s once, saw how much it helped me, and I was like, oh, I got to keep doing this. And so to answer your question, I was working for a company, a really small company, where it was in software. And I mean, we work for a really small company. Like, it's just, especially where the communication's not great, it's like, it can kind of drive you a little crazy because, man, we need the structure. We need the clear expectations. We need all those things, especially in your mid-20s when you don't know what you're doing anyways.
Yeah.
And what makes it even worse, like, you kind of think you do know what you're doing, which was certainly me. And so, man, just the struggle with that. So, yeah, I remember where I was. I was in my office at my house working, and finally was like, man, I've got to have somebody that will just listen to me talk about what I'm dealing with.
That's not your wife, which is a key point.
Not my wife, because that's just, it's good to do that with your wife, but it's not like constantly. It'll wear her out.
And I would say a commonality we figured out, I wasn't married at the time we met, which is another crazy thing, but we both found out both our wives are like fiercely loyal.
Yeah.
If we come to them with a problem, especially if somebody calls the problem, they're gonna want to go bust some heads.
And they're immediately taking your side, even if they maybe have some stuff at fault.
They're not going to want to talk it out and actually help you with your perspective and mindset and focus and how to help you solve the problem versus they're going to go solve it.
Right. You're right. Let's work on this to make it better for you.
Yeah. And let's talk crap about the person because they're not getting it. They're not seeing how great you are because I think you're
fiercely,
which is wonderful to have in your corner for a spouse. Ladies, our wives, we are so thankful.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so it's that I just want to give that caveat for any guys out there that are like, oh, I got my wife to talk to.
Yeah, but you got to have people that'll tell you when you're wrong.
Yes.
And you got to have people to tell, slap you around a little bit and, get the truth out of the situation and call you out where you're maybe feeling like you're prideful, you got a big ego here, and hey, let's work on this. Hey, what can you control here?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to control these other people. So, I was working for this small company, and I don't remember what I Googled, but it was from Google, and you popped up.
Wild.
And I went to your LinkedIn page. I didn't know about the Center for Executive Leadership or anything. My dad had been here before, but it was never really a thing. And then I always thought that was like for older guys. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think like younger guys could come here. And anyway, found your LinkedIn page. You had a Calendly link on there.
Yeah.
And
scheduling link.
And I got a meeting with you. And I remember just showing up and walking into your office and meeting you for the first time 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, it was wild. And I can't remember if I probably saw your LinkedIn and had a picture of you, but
probably.
And I was like, this guy just came around the corner and like, hey man, come on in.
Yeah. And then I just started, just getting it all out.
Yeah.
And so that was huge for me. Huge connection.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be without it today.
So yeah, to kind of dig deeper into that, Bo, maybe what was kind of the biggest problem you didn't realize back then that kind of through the coaching kind of came to light?
The biggest thing you've taught me, and we talk about it, and we haven't done many episodes. We've done what, 5? 4. We've done 4 episodes of this podcast so far, and the common thing every single time is the tension that you experience as young Christian men trying to do the right thing, learning how to balance and live in a place between two different things that are true. So like for me, it's like, hey, Bo, you're doing the right thing at this job you were at. You're working extremely hard. All that's good. But because of that, you're driving yourself a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So that can be good, but the fruit from it sometimes can be bad. That's the biggest thing you've taught me. And also, and a little bit related. So a lot of the stuff that we've talked about that you've been able to help me with is like career stuff, like real practical stuff, but then spiritual stuff too. Like with, my favorite verse is Ephesians 2:8. It's not by works, it's by grace, and you would always be like, Bo, you're working really, really hard to be accepted by God.
Yeah.
And then you would ask questions. Like I remember you would ask me, like you would never say, hey, let me lecture you for a second about why you're wrong. You would.
We have enough in our life.
Well, but you would ask me questions like, okay, so this is what I just heard you say. Is that true?
Yeah.
And then I'd sit there and be like, well, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't say anything again, and you'd just be like, and then I'd be like, just sitting there marinating on stuff like that. Like,
if that is not true, then what are the implications? What is true? That's and I could sit there and tell you what is true, but you had to come self.
Exactly. Yeah, you would always lead me to, I don't know, where I needed to be. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but like
some clarity.
You would always lead me to clarity.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
And so you would always kind of massage it like in my brain to where I came up with the right answer. Not the right answer. You all know what I'm trying to say. It's never that concrete, but it's always, oh, actually, no, that thing that's driving me a little bit crazy right now, that's not even true.
Yeah.
The fact that you're, like I remember one thing that I used to struggle with and that you helped me a lot was, man, I went through a season in my life where like, man, I had deep, the study time, the quiet time I had with God was always like, man, it was like profound. And like, I would always get these great thoughts and like have these great worship experiences and things like that. And then a week later, I wouldn't have that same experience. And I'd be like, what am I screwing up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What am I doing wrong here? You always led me away from, dude, you're putting too much on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And gosh, like how helpful that just that one thing is. Like, hey, you're putting too much pressure on yourself to perform here.
Yeah.
And it's not by works, it's by grace.
So yeah, with that, I'll even do a coach question. So, are you saying your actions are bigger or more important than the cross?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, right there. That's a great. I mean, when you say that, I want to say I even add that comment. It's like
that's the perfect example. Like what you just did is exactly what you still do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
yeah. Because I mean, going back to what you said about the lecturing versus the question act, self-discovery is such a powerful tool, and I diving into this profession and doing this, I love the curiosity that can come from a conversation like that.
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah.
And it was hard also, I would say, for any coach out there who does have a good relationship with a client and has built a rapport and you enjoy coaching and working with them. I would say a struggle that I had, if I could add a little commentary, was you would vent to me about a struggle, especially with a boss or something like that, and I immediately, I could feel my insides. All right, I got to go back from Bo. Like, dude, that sucks. That is stupid. This is what I went through, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, going back to what you said earlier, I think was as a coach, I was like, all right, how do I activate Bo? What can Bo control? And I'll say a little bit what I felt like I brought up because it really spoke to me as someone who really tried to work on that is like, all right, how do I have a healthy confrontation? How do I still value the relationship, honor the relationship that I have with this boss, leader in my life or person, but yet confront them on their behavior that is affecting me? And not from a place of judgment, but of like, hey, I'm trying to improve how I work and our working relationship. So anyway, I remember a lot of those conversations.
Oh yeah. Stuff I still think about, stuff you still deal with. I thankfully have an amazing boss now. And so that's really good. And you can kind of see the value in, kind of being led to. And another thing I learned too is like, being led more to the people that you want to be with rather than just like chasing a career. Like, hey, who anyway, we've talked.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a lot. And I'll just add to that. Like, I feel like for guys in their 20s and early 30s, especially, like being in a great culture is probably more valuable to them in the long run, even though it's hard at first, especially if you want to grow from a wealth and financial stability.
Surround yourself with people that you would like to be like.
Yeah.
Like you could see yourself, being like, one reason I got out of coaching is because, a lot of the guys that were 5 years ahead of me in coaching were, completely, not present at home and valued career over everything else. And anyway, so yeah, that's another thing you've helped me learn is the value of that as well. Anyway, rabbit hole. I let us down there.
Yeah. So all right. So next one. What changed? Did we hit on that? Anyway, yeah. What changed first? Your thinking, your habits, or your direction? Kind of what was the process that really? It's a little bit connected to the one before, but what was that started really developing from our sessions?
You changed. You helped me change the way I saw certain things.
Yeah.
So I would say thinking.
Yeah.
You helped me and still do process things.
Yeah.
In my own head. Right? Like you don't come here to say, "Hey, help me get out of this situation," or help me deal with this person. Cartwright's approach is always, at least from my experience, has always been, well, that person's not here. Let's work on you.
Yeah.
And let's work on the way that you process it. And let's not think so much about how to get out of this situation or how to get a certain outcome that you want. You would ask me, what do you think God's teaching you? Yeah. Is he more interested in this certain outcome? Is he more interested that you get a raise?
Right. Just not bad.
Raises are fine. Michael. Michael's my boss. I'm just kidding. But what instead, let's talk about and let's focus on what God could be teaching you, what you think he may be teaching you right now. And when you do that and you go, oh, he's teaching me patience.
Yeah.
Then you kind of view things as like, okay, well, let's work on me. How can you be more patient? What are some things you can do?
A little bit less frustration when you have that mindset going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just off of that, I will say a lot of my clients that haven't worked out as well as you, I'm not saying from a result standpoint, but just longevity of client, they've come in just to vent. Yeah. Like they don't want the challenging thought. They don't want the deep dive and self-reflection. They don't want to evaluate, all right, how am I approaching this? Maybe I need to approach this differently. They're not thinking that way. They're just like, I need some place to get this out and tell me I'm great and everything's fine. I wouldn't say that's all, but I would say that a lot of that you realize is like, oh yeah. And some people that's not a bad, like you can go find that if that's really just need a place to dump outside of your wife or your family, your friends, and you just need that safe place. I get that. But what's been great, and I would say a testament to you and your character is like, hey, yeah, I need a place to just let loose and kind of let my hair down a little bit and just kind of let it out. But also like, okay, now help me kind of decipher and challenge my thinking on it.
Yeah.
Going back to the question.
Yeah, you got to be open to the challenge that you'll receive from Cartwright, because that's really the meat and the takeaway that you get from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you don't, yeah, I mean,
It's weird, Bo, like how many people really are out there, and it's like I'll start doing what I do with you, and they're like, "What? Hold on, let me finish
that's what
my
I'm here
thought."
for, yeah.
Let me not stopping me like that's not what I'm here for, but they'll even in their behavior kind of be like, "Oh, let me finish this thought."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah.
or they'll look at me a weird face, like, "I don't know." You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, this is not what you came for." Got it.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but yeah, that's not what I do. Which I think is a testament that you wanted more than that. You wanted more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to want it for sure.
So
Yeah. You got to want the truth.
yeah,
You got to want the truth.
which I think going back to what you said, like you found some result in being humble, which is that's a strong character trait we've talked about many times of like the humility to, all right, let me hear some feedback and I may not like it.
Yeah.
I would say humility though in the long it feels great. It may feel bad at first.
There's just peace with it.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to, like, I'm here for you to help me out.
Yeah.
Not give me the answers, but lead me down the right path. You know, and yeah, I mean, I would imagine like how tiring that is to like have to pretend like you know the answer all the time, especially if you're a Christian, like with knowing what's going on in the Bible and like how that works here and all the stuff that's going on in the world, man, you'll go nuts.
Oh man. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you'll go nuts. You don't know the answers. Nobody does.
Yeah, exactly. He wins in the end, but not me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be part of that, but like the whole idea that I can't. Yeah, I'm with you. It can be exhausting to think that at the end of the day that I'm the one that has to have it all figured out.
Oh yeah, that's
like,
terrible. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's interesting. Can you think of an example of a moment when coaching directly changed a decision you made? Ooh, this is specific. It's being in the last 5 years. On average, how many times we met? 30? 50?
Yeah.
50 times?
Total?
Total.
More than that, right?
We met for once a month for.
Dude, we were once a week for a while.
We were, that's right.
I was I was struggling.
Yeah. And then we probably had some follow-up lunches and
breakfast. Oh yeah, no, I think it was more than 50.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah, it had to be more than 50.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. And the podcast we just did, I said we were been together for 10 years. It's only been 6.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, so an example of a moment when it actually changed a decision I made. I mean, there's probably a ton of examples of that. Man, honestly, I go back to this. It's the muscle that you exercise daily to almost say, hey, this is not, I don't have to perform for this.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't have to perform for this. I don't have to know the answer every time. If I'm in the middle of that tension of trying to do the right thing and be, I don't know, a good Christian. That's a terrible thing to say, probably, but try to be a disciple, I guess, and still have all these temptations and things that you want to accomplish outside of just that on this earth. Man, I know that's super deep, and that wasn't the point of the question, but it's not something. It's not a specific time that you coached me out of or into. It's the every morning waking up with that perspective of
frees you up.
It does.
Yeah.
Frees you up a lot.
Yeah. It's like, man, when I feel at rest, at peace about who I am and who God's called me to.
It's that humble confidence.
Yeah. How has having a coach? Oh, here we go. Let me get the microphone here. How has having a coach affected how you show up as a man in work, faith, and relationships? Ooh, you.
Another. This is a good little nugget, probably that has a lot to do with this. Is also learning through your guidance. Maybe just to not think about myself so much. It's to see certain situations at work. We'll use work as an example. Like, hey, you're super ambitious and that's good. You're super hardworking and stuff like that. But how can you don't focus on that too much? You'll go nuts.
Yeah.
Focus on how can I add value to this person at work today?
Yeah.
And if you do that enough times, you'll look up and you'll be well beyond whatever your ambitious thought was when you started that exercise, right? That's really hard to do on a daily basis. You've coached me in that in a lot of different situations. Hey, instead of being so frustrated with this person, how can you serve that person today? And then see how it works out.
Yeah.
And you always know the end of the story. It's going to work out really well.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's a good one.
Easy.
No, heck no. Definitely not. It's not our first.
If anybody's read the book by Simon Sinek, Infinite Game, it is that thought process, though, of like, I'm thinking big picture, long term, what type of man I am and want to be. It's the inward expressing outward versus vice versa.
Yeah.
Most people want the external to define me on the inward.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, how do I change that mindset of like, no, this is what I'm about, so I'm going to serve this person, I don't like them or they're ticking me off or whatever. I am this person. It doesn't matter what their actions don't dictate me.
Yeah.
I dictate my actions.
Yeah. And if you're a man in your 20s and 30s and you're trying to find things that you can control and that you can do, well, that's definitely one.
Yeah.
Right? It's serving the person that you're with where your feet are in that moment.
Yeah.
You can control that. So enjoy controlling that. Do that if you got to control something. That's been a big thing you've taught me. All right, now the question's for you.
All right. Hit me.
Well, first, talk more. So you hear, I know it bugs you, it bugs me, the term coaching.
Yeah.
What is it really? I mean, coaching's just kind of a catch-all.
Yeah.
You're not a licensed counselor.
No, which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you see the guys that like market themselves as life coaches.
Yeah.
That's not you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you see the guys on LinkedIn and stuff that are going to be your life coach, this is not what Cartwright is. Talk about that.
And just let me not bash counselors. I mean, it was a good thing in that licensed counselors are limited from state to state. You can't cross state lines, whereas a coach I can. But that's what I meant by that. But also, like, there's just a lot that comes with being a licensed counselor. As a coach, I have more. It's harder to get clients, but I always say my coaching style, and sometimes that's why I use mentoring, is I like the shoulder to shoulder. Men are better at counsel or advice or mentorship when it's shoulder to shoulder versus face to face. Or women are better at showing up the face to face, diving deep, reflecting deep on things and asking hard questions, and they receive it better. Where men, it's like I've seen it. This was like a little bit of squirming, but like so sometimes it is like, hey, how do I? That's why I say I always like working with business guys who are professionally driven, because there is a level I can come alongside them and help them understand what's going on in their work, in their career, and that will lead to more deeper discussions. So that's why I will always say, like, there's a shoulder to shoulder type coaching, and also I would say a coach is what I'd like about if a real purist in the coaching profession. Because there's some coaches that are probably more consultants. Like, hey, you have a problem. Let me tell you what your solution is. That's a consultant in my mind.
Yeah.
A counselor is more diving deep into the kind of getting dirty with you and your real struggles.
Yeah.
Where I would say the coach is like, how do I help you move forward? Which I get more excitement from that. I actually had a conversation with another coach here at the center about this, but it's like, how do I get energy and excitement from helping guys move forward in life? Like, hey, there's a barrier and I can't figure out how to go over it or go through it. And I would say that's a lot with, what, made us work, Bo.
Yeah.
But, within that, there's always a way to think about it is also like, hey, a third party you come with no agenda. Mm-hmm. I'm just here to listen and ask you questions that you haven't heard before. But within that, there's always like a way to do that. Because I would say, I do at some point maybe add some input or advice where I would say purist in the coaching profession, sometimes it's only questions. I don't add any of my agenda but it always starts from that. I would say my coaching, that's why, there's a little bit of consulting and mentorship in the coaching, but a purist would say you're just having no agenda and I am just purely there to help you process this out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I think that probably is a thing for guys in their 20s and 30s. It's like, oh, another coach. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And I've been to both. I've been to therapists, I've been to counselors, and you're the only coach I've been to, but I get more out of this than I do at the more clinical settings. Not that those places aren't great. They're great.
I mean, but like even, as we know, people, they have like a coaching program and they're going to guide you through a certain thing. Like, Todd, that's a great example. He's, there's a certain, we know he would say he's a coach, but there's a certain like 5 sessions of this. And they say the best way to really make money off of it is to do that. But I would say, there's almost like 3 types of coaches. There's like the rigid program, like this is what you're going to get in 5, 10, 8 sessions, whatever. And then there's like a, hey, open agenda, how can I help you today? Kind of like, let me just ask questions around what you're dealing with. And then there's a little mix of both, which I would say I'm a little bit of mix, because there is stuff that obviously through what we're talking about the podcast that I know in my back of mind, a guy like where you were at needs. But at the same time, I want to help you get there, not tell you what I think.
Yeah.
First, that's not going to work out well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anyway, because you sounds like you at that place that you've been doing your whole life, just doing what someone else has told you.
Right.
Versus, I wanted Bo to be a free thinker. I have in my coaching, I have found a foundational verse is for freedom. We have been set free, like Galatians 1. Like that in itself, I'm like, there is something. Jesus, that this life is freedom practice.
Yeah.
To quote a pastor that I'm a big fan of. But anyway.
Yeah, I love that. And that's definitely, you can feel that in talking to you too. There's freedom in the conversation. It can go anywhere you want it to go. And there's nothing that you haven't probably heard before. Yeah. So if you're some guy out there that thinks you're super unique and that you struggle with this, there's been a lot of guys struggle with that you've helped with that. So it's not anything that you're going to come in and Cartwright's going to say, no, I don't deal with stuff like that. That's not going to happen. Why do you think guys resist getting coaching? What do you think is some of the barriers that actually have them do it? I could probably help you answer this.
Have them that don't do it, that keep them from doing it?
Or they're thinking about doing it, but they just have like, they don't end up doing it. Like they see the value in it, but then they're just like, they don't end up doing it.
One, going what you just said earlier, that what I'm dealing with is I'm unique.
Too weird.
I'm like, let me just say this out loud. You're not. You're not special. Let me just say that. You're not special. God made you unique, but you ain't special. Yeah. Your problems are not, I've heard it, or somebody I know has heard it. So like that's the, I would say there was something I wish I learned early in my 20s, is like, you ain't special. I would say us millennials, we got that message. It's like, no, you're not special.
Yeah, that's right. That's
exactly right. And I would, so getting over that barrier is going, okay, yeah. One is, I would say God has gifted me, and I pray into and take a lot of pride in as creating a safe place where people feel welcome, seen, known. And I would say a lot of guys, it's like, I'm just going to another place for somebody to go back to lecture me, preach at me, to tell me everything I'm doing wrong, tell me how terrible a guy I am, he's going to make me do something I don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Which that could be possible, the last one, but it's like, I feel like it's going to come in the spirit of like it's going to challenge you in a way that you really deeply want to be challenged in. If you're being open and honest and authentic with me, we'll get to that place where it's like, yeah, you'll be like, yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt that way,
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you don't have, Cartwright's not going to be like, hey, you need to email everyone you know and confess whatever you told me. Really? I mean, because I think that's probably another reason why it's like, well, if I go to him, he's going to tell me I got to tell everybody about this issue that I'm dealing with. And there's probably freedom in that, telling, or confessing.
yeah,
But Cartwright's not going to tell you to do that
yeah,
right off the bat.
no,
Maybe in session 10.
yeah,
But you usually come up with it on your own. Yeah, by the way, I agree with that. I think that, and I think a lot of times men in their 20s and 30s, they really want to understand and know what they're getting into. And I think sometimes it can be kind of vague. Like, okay, I'm going to him because I have this specific issue, or I'm just confused about something, and I don't know what I'm getting on the other end. What I can say is there's really probably no cookie cutter answer you'll get from Cartwright,
yeah,
but just saying it out loud and having him dialogue with you through it, you'll leave feeling better because one, you're not the only one that's dealing with this, whatever that thing is. And then two, okay, now I kind of can, now I know how to at least work on it.
yeah.
And now there's a light on it. I've at least identified what we think the core issue may be, whether it's my anger, my ego, my whatever. Anyway, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. Yeah, yeah. And I'll say
Yeah.
this that's why I like pairing a lot of my coaching with like my studies or peer groups where you do get some more in the groups you get more foundational kind of teaching that lead to more deeper discussions where we're not in this groups where I'm like teaching you like, oh, you need to believe this and that, right? That's just yeah. So
Yeah.
I think they complement one another.
Come as you are.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a good one. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say about this. What do you see? What are some of the things you see in men that come to you that are in their 20s and 30s, kind of this same kind of issues? Like, what are some of the patterns you see in guys that come to you?
Yeah.
Is it like I mean, it's probably a lot of career stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is it a lot of temptation, like lust, pornography, like addiction? What's some of the stuff you see?
Um, yeah, I've gotten some addiction stuff, um, which it hasn't always been pornography. There's been some of that for sure. There's been, you know, I'm trying, it has been a lot. I mean, a lot of what I talk about is really kind of a general thing. What ends up happening is like kind of what we're trying to hit on in this podcast, is the tension of man. How do I profess these things to believe, but how does this actually affect my life? And when I say that, there's been topics where me and my wife, there's
Okay, marriage.
marriage, there's been distance there, addiction. Like, hey man, I keep struggling with this thing, but yet I know I profess to believe this.
That could be alcohol.
It's been alcohol. There's been gambling,
Yeah.
porn, even tobacco's been one. Um, I wouldn't say talking through addiction isn't necessarily my strong suit, and I say that's why I try to get guys in their 20s because I would say those addictions are symptoms of something much deeper.
Yeah.
That you're lacking purpose, you're lacking direction, you're lacking meaning. I mean, whatever, however you want to like line it up there, or there's just a lack of identity in who you are and who you really want to be, and how to pursue that. And that's been the outlet to escape that thought process. Most of us that's where that comes from. I'm trying to escape
Yeah.
to that. Away because I
feel something.
Yeah, I'm tired of thinking about this stupid thing because I'm like, I need more meaning in my life. I need more direction. I need more clarity, and no one's helping me. I keep going back to this thing to kind of escape that thought process. So it is, yeah. So I mean, in that vein, there is a lot of like, there's how to get that alignment between my purpose and what I claim I am.
Yeah.
And my identity. So,
God, it all comes back to that, really.
it really does. It really
Because I was just
does.
thinking about, like, I've done that with my career.
Oh, yeah.
You try to get fulfillment. You're trying to fill a void with your career.
Yeah.
If I can get this position, or I can start this business, or I can do,
Yeah.
all lies.
And I still do it within my, even within ministry, and they got context, right? It's because it's like, man, there's the pure thought of what we, I want to provide for my family beyond their needs, right? I want to actually provide a place that they can live and thrive in. But then there's like, man, I want to be successful. I want to feel successful
Yeah.
more than anything. But yeah, I think a lot of it is, it's like, I mean, now, Bo, I'm sitting there going through the Rolodex of guys I've met with and talked through, and career struggles, addiction struggles. I mean, a lot of what I do sometimes is just leadership development, how to lead others. But it all comes down to, developing mindsets, your mindset, and how does that align with what I feel like I'm called to and who I am. I think that's what it always comes down to when we end up having this.
That's great, because you can take a specific situation somebody's dealing with and then get to that path, however unique way you need to get there.
Yeah.
So I think when we say, like your issues that you're facing are not unique to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But how you can, Cartwright's good at, but the pathway he gets you kind of to that truth of shining a light on it is unique probably every time.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're talking to or dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot deeper than I wanted to get. Also, you still keep a Rolodex?
Mentally. Yeah. I'm like, I got a Rolodex.
You can.
Does anybody know I said that? And does y'all even know what that is?
No. You can just do it on your phone. We're working on Cartwright, man. We're trying to get Cartwright.
Hard.
Cool. That's the last one, really.
Was that the last one?
Yeah. Can I do a? Well, we hit that one too, really.
He feels stuck. He doesn't know where to start.
Yeah. So, well, let me ask you that last one, and then that can be the call to action. So, if somebody's feeling stuck, they're in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've heard their dad going to the Center of Executive Leadership, or they've been to a Bible study here, and they love it, but they would love to. They're dealing with the same issues that we all deal with, and they want to talk one-on-one with you. Mm-hmm. Where do they go? How do they get there? How do they get in your office talking to you?
Well, we'll have there's a link in the bio of the podcast, or even in this episode, that a calendar link where you can literally do a 15-minute phone call or Zoom call if you want, and just kind of, or you could, we could set up an actual like coffee or whatever to meet. There's always that. Man, but I think I want to. I want to sit here and self promote, because I appreciate you, Bo, doing that. But there's also like, man, like the obvious thing is like, man, just do something you've never done before. Step across do some level of reflection and boldness. Like, I have to do something different if I want to be different.
Mm.
Is that voicing it to a trusted friend? Is that just stepping out and doing something beyond what you've already done. I think we live in a very high information age, and you could probably get the answers that you think you want, some level of knowledge from something, podcast, book, whatever, ChatGPT, but at the same time, like, you need to be in relationships with humans to help you actually apply that stuff directly. Like, and it could be me. It could be me. You could try that out. Take that for test drive. But you have to find somebody who's been a couple steps before or way down the road. It could be your dad. I don't know if you have that type of relationship, but some older man, because I think we've talked about this, that I think is I'm hit or miss. I'm hot and cold sometimes on John Eldredge and his books. He's great, but I do love this, what he talks about early in his Wild at Heart book, which is a great millennial book that came out. But men need permissional from other men, but the permission to like, hey,
Yeah.
stop thinking this way, do this.
Yeah.
Start living, no, that's you in your mind, this is a big deal. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I promise you, you're doing great. You're doing great. That permissional is huge, I think, in a man's life. And that was what I would encourage, that initial step.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I've certainly done that.
Yeah.
With you, where it's, hey, it's okay to think that way.
Yeah.
And just the peace that you feel from somebody saying that to you out loud. I think you should come in person.
Yeah.
Because I think you just get so much more out of it in person. Again, we'll kind of reiterate this too. I mean, really and truly, the purpose of this podcast is not to try to grow or directly grow Cartwright's ministry, because that's not Cartwright's heart. Cartwright's heart is to help guide men in their 20s and 30s to, not necessarily to a specific outcome, but just like in that walk that we're required, run the race that's required of us, and struggle through it.
Stop looking to the right or to the left. To use that verse, Hebrews.
Exactly.
Stop looking at the guy next to you and wishing you were him.
Right. And so I think, again, I'll probably end up doing this a lot on the podcast. I'll try not to. But and a lot of the topics we talk about, it's like, man, I just don't know how, listening to a podcast hopefully will help. Hopefully some guys will get a lot out of it.
It's meant to stimulate something in my mind.
But it's meant to, exactly. It's meant to stimulate you to do something about your situation, try something different. And I think, at least in my experience, man, it was hard at first to reach out to somebody you don't know, like Cartwright, and come in and say, hey, here's the things I'm struggling with. But I can just tell you, it's so worth it leaving after a 1-hour session with, I'll just say Cartwright because you've always done it for me, leaving a 1-hour session with Cartwright and having just kind of that peace, and then your mind just a little bit more organized towards what you're struggling with, and not necessarily always finding the exact solution in that one session to a struggle you're having, but it's like shining a spotlight on it, so it's not hidden anymore. And there's so much peace with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's so much peace with that. So anyway, guys, please just try it. Try something different. I know it might not always be the cool thing to do, to ask for help or to be vulnerable in front of somebody else or something like that. But I promise you the value you'll get out of it. You'll look back after 6 years like I do and really kind of wonder where you would be today if you didn't do it. That sounds like a threat. It's not a threat. But it's
some way it can be, man.
Yeah.
Really,
well, that's true. Yeah.
We're relational beings. We were built this way.
Yeah.
And we have to, it is like you're going to get to the end of your life, and we've seen these. Tale as old as time, right? If without other men and being in relationship with other men, the cost is pretty great.
Yeah.
I've been alone. I've done things alone, and it's not as good, and the fruit of it is not as great.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, cool. This was great, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Bo.
Try it out, guys.
Thank you for listening to Men of Forge podcast. If you like this podcast, please check us out on YouTube or follow us on Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen. Really thankful for y'all listening.